We've actually got two.
Okay.
We've got two crowd mics?
We have
All right,
two
we
crowd
can only
mics.
flag one though, so yeah.
Right. Now we'll open up for Coach Cater.
Coach, what was it about their defense that you saw that was so effective?
Well, you look at them going in. We had a chance to see all the film and everything like that. They're very, very good. They didn't have to blitz a lot because their front was very good. That's been a tough place for us all year. It's a lot of new people, and when you go ahead and play people the caliber that we did with their front, especially, then it worked very, very well for them. We had a lot of trouble blocking them. It just was very, very difficult. That's all.
Coach, Creighton Raps from Hero Sports. Given the circumstances over the course of the week, was there any point where you considered making a switch at quarterback, maybe get a little momentum switch going?
Well, as long as Jeff was able to go ahead and go, and as long as he was able to throw, I mean, he's our guy. I don't think you go ahead and make a change if you think he's healthy enough to be able to get out there. But he took a tremendous amount of punishment, and obviously it's a wonder he was able to finish. We were going to get him out at the end anyway, and the coaching staff in Northwest decided to go ahead and run the football. Pretty classy thing to do. But at the same time, you go with the horse you rode. And, he's the guy. And if he can go, he's a leader. He's going to battle. He's going to give you everything he has. And that's what we wanted to do.
Coach, could you talk about the first play with the snap? Talk about the snap problem you guys had, and then also the first play. Was it nerves? What was that?
Well, I'm sure it was part of it. But, Jake's hands broke. But he's been able to play. It's a small break. It's been casted. We were able to go ahead and get some soft material over it, but you can't use it as an excuse. I mean, he's been playing with that. But the bottom line, those first few snaps were bad, and we start the ball game off about as bad as you can by going ahead and turning the ball over and giving them a chance to get a quick score. So, I think we finally were able to work through it. We did have to go under center for quite a long period of time, which we haven't really done much of all year. But we were able to go ahead and get through it and get back and at least try to do the things we wanted to out of the gun.
Coach, can you compare this Northwest defense, especially that front, to any other great defenses you faced during your time at this level?
I don't know if I can compare them to today. I mean, we haven't been dominated like this. We've been able to have success against everybody that we've had on our schedule. But bottom line, it's hard to think that we had a better, that we faced a better front than these guys. They really did a great job. They were super. We knew they were going to be good coming in. But we had to control it just a little bit. And we had to be able to go ahead and keep them at least a little bit uncomfortable by being able to be balanced, get some run and pass, and we couldn't run the ball a lick.
Would you say it's the best defense that you've seen in your time at this level?
Well, I'm not going to say in all those times because we saw some pretty good teams, but the bottom line, it's sure as heck the best defense we've seen in a long time.
Coach, what was kind of your message to the team after this game, kind of how to keep things in perspective with the season you guys had?
Well, and that's what you have to do. You can't go ahead and let one thing. It's always the type of game that you've just now lost. We've been able to go ahead and meet the challenges every week all the way up to this point in time. But you're going to be playing a heck of a good football team, and we did, and they had a much better day than we did. So you go ahead and look at the year as a whole. You thank your seniors, and you go ahead and try to get ready for next year. But this is tough. It's a punch in the stomach, and our guys are going to remember this for a long time. But you got to keep it in perspective. We've got a young football team, and we need to go ahead and get ready for next year.
What did you see out of their quarterback, Bowles?
Well, I think, they kept us off balance. They were able to run the football and throw the football, and I think that's the toughest thing, is able to go ahead and get the ball to people when he needed to, whether it's going to be something short, something coming out of the backfield. I thought our guys did a pretty good job of keeping it controlled, but, it was always something there. They made a lot of plays, get first downs. They had the ball a good portion of the day. So I think the thing that we saw was we could never get into any real rhythm where we could go ahead and say, okay, we can get this stopped, we can get that stopped. Just a nice mix.
Time for maybe one more question if we have it. If not, again, congratulations, Coach Cater, on a great season this year. Good luck to you next year.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
The Shepherd locker room will be open per NCAA rules for 30 minutes at the conclusion of this press conference. Northwest Missouri State will be heading in here in a few minutes. Brady, you ready? Yes, right over here.
Name tag.
Colin over there. Okay, again, we'd like to welcome and congratulate Northwest Missouri State, your 2015 national champions. We have with us today defensive lineman Colin Blevins, quarterback Brady Bowles, and head coach Adam Dorrell. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Dorrell. Then we'll take questions for the players, release the players, and then we'll talk with Coach Dorrell. So, Coach?
Thank you. It's hard to talk right now. I'm just a whirlwind. You've been just like a dream right now. You know, I've been here before and we've won a championship, but it's just, this year it was a little different with all the unknowns. I first want to say I'm extremely proud of our seniors. There's no way we would have done this without our senior leadership. Those guys have set a new standard at Northwest Missouri State for the expectation level from a work standpoint. Their commitment to excellence for the last 15 weeks, their dedication. They've dotted every I and crossed every T for 15 weeks. And in college sports and in football, in a long year like that, that's not easy to do. So extremely proud of them. The other fact I'm proud of our kids. We're a very unselfish football team this year. I believe our kids played each week for their university and for their community, and because they loved each other. And I thought it really showed. I thought it really showed, especially late in the playoffs. You know, some of those teams we played semifinal game, just athletes, and our guys found a way to win. I'm proud of our coaching staff. It's one of the things I feel like I probably get way too much credit, and our assistant coaches don't get enough credit. Look at what our guys are doing on defense and offense, and they're a very unselfish group. But it's just hard to sit here right now without getting emotional because I just think of what our guys have been through together. I just think we had a lot of young guys step up this year and played hard. And the other factor is I thought we had guys that played maybe better than they should have been playing. And as a head coach, there's no greater feeling when you get kids that overachieve.
And with that, we'll take questions for the players. Again, if you could please direct your questions to a particular player, let us know who you're talking to.
Brady, I talked to you a lot before the season started about legacy, and you said it, numbers, and maybe trying to match your brother didn't mean nearly as much as being able to win a national championship your senior year. Can you take me through what's going through your head now that that's been accomplished?
It's unbelievable, the feeling right now. I mean, to go through what we went through as a team, all the work that we put in, how unselfish we've been, and just how much we've cared for each other the entire year. To have it, end the way that it did, senior year, to go out on top, it's indescribable right now. It's an incredible feeling.
David Smale, Associated Press. Colin, just talk about the 4 sacks, and then just the second question is just talk about the defense. You held them to 97 yards of total offense.
We've done a pretty good job all year of getting pressure on the quarterback, and the 4 sacks doesn't just show how good of a day I had. It shows just the defensive line in general, and even with the linebackers, the pressure we were putting on the quarterback. And I mean, it was a great team game, and what they have. I don't know what you said they had.
97 yards.
97 yards offense. Yeah, that was awesome, especially a national championship game to come out and perform like that. It's big. It just shows kind of who we are as a defense, and it's awesome.
Creighton Ravs from Hero Sports. Going into the second, coming in towards the end of the first half, that big pick six. Brady, talk about what the feeling was like on the sidelines when that almost seemed to be the one play that iced the game, if you will.
That was huge. Anytime we can put points on the board without our offense being out there, it's always good for me and the offense. But that was big. That was, they were trying to get down. They had a great kick return. Guy got loose, and they were trying to go down and put points on the board, and that was big to kind of shut the door and not just to get 3 points, but to get a pick six and go down and score 7 right before half. That was big.
Colin, what did it mean to the team to get that early turnover, then the offense put it in the end zone for a quick 7-0 lead?
Oh, that was big. We kind of took offense to them taking the balls to start the game, and we just wanted to come out and set the tempo for the game like we always do on defense. And then once we had that first play and they little bad snap, once we got on it and we scored 7, that was big, and it was nice to start the game that way.
Colin, can you talk about the intensity and the amount of fans that were here today?
Oh, that was awesome. Bearcat Nation really showed up today, and it's awesome. They definitely had issues with the snap count and their timing as an offense with how loud it was, and it was just Bearcat Nation really impressed today. Showed the whole nation.
Brady, going back to the play to start the game, how much did that calm the nerves, being able to come out with the ball on their 5-yard line to start the game?
Oh, that was huge. AD was saying it all week. The team that gets settled in first has a chance to put points on the board first, and our defense must have been settled in. And with the bad snap, we were able to get on it, and that was big for our offense to be able to punch it in.
The 7-4 comment that Coach made before the year, is that something you guys have kind of razzed him about throughout this playoffs? And is that something that you've kind of reminded him of lately?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's been really our rally cry all year. When times get tough, we just kind of, I remember in summer conditioning, people yelling out 7-4. Do you want to be 7-4? And anytime I heard that, it was just, okay, I'm going to push it that much more. So, you could take it 2 ways. You could take it as a slap to the face, or, AD knew we were going to use it as motivation, and it worked.
You guys are 40-2 over the last 3 years. What is the reason behind that kind of success, playing in such a tough conference and then playing in the playoffs?
I think a big part of it is, our coaches putting us in good positions to make plays, and guys going out and making plays. Also just, how much we care for each other. We play for one another so much, and, all the work that we put in the off season, you only get 15 weeks to watch us play, but, that's a year-round thing. We're busting it, in the off season, and we're getting ready so that we can put ourselves in situations like this and go out and win big games.
Did you get any advice from your brother who'd been through this?
Yeah, absolutely. He told me just to relax and just let the game come to me. People get in trouble when you go out and try and do too much, especially in big games. And that's what's been so great for us is, I've been able to trust 10 other guys around me, and they've been going out and making plays. And so really just told me to just settle down, enjoy the moment, and take it all in.
Time for just a couple more questions for the players.
Brady, I saw after the trophy ceremony, you kind of got up on the bench and gestured up to the crowd. Who were you looking at there, and what was kind of the message you were trying to get across?
I was looking up to my family there. They were all sitting up in that section, and just showing them love. I guess they've done an incredible job of being at every single one of my sporting events since I was barely able to walk. Since I started playing. So, to be able to go out senior year and to go out on top like we did, that was kind of my, best way I could give back to them. And I was able to get up in the stands and talk to them too. So that was pretty sweet.
Brady, guys was 7-0, and it kind of stayed that way for a while. So how big of a catch was it by your sophomore Jordan Grove to pull in that big catch that set up a touchdown and kind of loosen things up again?
Oh, that was huge. He's been a huge playmaker for us all year. He does a great job of getting open, and he's so versatile coming out of the backfield, be able to catch the ball and run afterwards. And I told him if he gets too clean, it's going to be a big play, and sure enough, he did, and that was big for us.
Last question for the players. Last question. There are none. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Congratulations.
Be right out.
You bet.
Now we'll open up for Coach Dorrell.
Coach, I'll ask you the same question I asked your players. What was your defense able to do to limit them to 97 yards? That's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I think we had a really good game plan. I think Shepard was really predicated around trying to run the football to set up their play action. We knew that was going to be a challenge to stop their run, but the way we're built systematically and athletically, our front seven do a great job of stopping the run, and we just feel like that's our strength. And so we thought we had a pretty good game plan coming in. We thought if we could cut down those running seams and everybody do their 111th, we thought we were going to have a good chance to get him in long passing situations. And I tried not to play it up too much, but I knew the crowd was going to be a factor in this game. And I always take it back to when we were playing Pitt at Arrowhead in front of 18 to 20,000 people. You know, you can blast music through that speaker all week. It's just a different deal. And I thought they were, I thought they had a hard time early in the game, obviously. I thought they did a good job of settling in, but by that time we'd already had a couple scores. And so, stop the run, get them into passing situations, get our crowd up, and I thought our folks did that. And I'm proud of the Bearcat Nation and what they showed today. And I just thought it was great for us, but I'm sure it looked really good on TV for Division II football too.
Coach, obviously you guys had a great season. You guys won all your games. Was there a definite turning point in the season where, you kind of realized, how great this team could be?
Yeah, I knew our spirit was great after the Central Missouri game, the way our quarterback conducted himself the entire game, the young guys that made plays down the stretch, and just seeing the kids in the locker room. I knew we had good spirit about us and good chemistry. You follow that up against Central Oklahoma. We were behind in the game. Jack Young makes a big play in that game and we go down and score. But I knew we had composure after that game because, again, there was multiple points that we could have panicked and we didn't. So I knew we had those two things. And then I think week 6, week 7, we really found our stride offensively, kind of figured out who we were. And sometimes it just takes putting your pieces out there in a few games and seeing guys react and the way they play. And I give our offensive coaches a lot of credit. They stayed patient. They didn't press. And we found who we were. But I think after the Pitt State game, I just think playing on the road down there, I thought we might have a chance to do some good things.
Coach, apart from a couple drives maybe in the first quarter, it seemed like you guys really stayed true to yourselves the entire way through this game. Being able to play defense the way you did today, and then have a couple big plays and things like that. What was it like to put on that kind of a showcase along with the fans, for Northwest today?
It was great. It was a great feeling. Anytime your kids go out and execute in a big game like this, it's very rewarding because it's not easy to do. When you're getting on the national stage, you get in an environment like that, it can be very challenging. And, I told our guys at half we were winning, but I looked at the offense, looked at the defense, looked at the special teams, and in my mind we had some lapses in all 3 phases, and I really challenged our kids to stop looking at the scoreboard, keep playing to win, play Bearcat football, and I was proud of them because for the most part I thought we did that.
Coach, looking at the stats, you had 10 sacks on the day. I mean, that certainly has to be probably one of the best performances from a defensive line in a long time. Talk about the experience and maybe some other factors that where you guys were so successful there today.
Is that right? We had 10 sacks. Yeah, it's. Sorry, I didn't. Again, as the game gets going, you lose track of statistics a little bit. We always peak them at half. I'm usually looking at the offensive stuff. Yeah, it's just phenomenal. It speaks to what Colin said. Obviously, he's a great performer, but they do such a great job of rushing as a unit. And I think the guys that stick out in my head that might get lost in the shuffle in there are guys like Caleb Mather, Tristan Patterson, even Yost at times, because those cats are taking a blunt of a double team. And Rich does a great job of putting those guys in position, so it's hard to double team them, the defensive ends. And, that old adage, falling a grenade, sometimes our B-gap, A-gap guys go out of their way to get into an alignment so a guard can't get out and help a defensive end. And so, we had good linebacker pressure today, too, and we haven't had to do that the last couple weeks. So, and then you got to flip it to the guys in the back. If guys in the back are doing their job and covering guys like they're supposed to, it gives those guys a little bit longer to get home.
Coach, how impressive is what Colin Bevins did this playoffs? I think he had 7.5 sacks in 4 games, 4 today.
Yeah. I think the thing, and I think folks know, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about his injury, but the thing with him is there's a point in the season he could have hung it up. And I think he's going to get a chance to play in the NFL. And he didn't do that. That kid met with his family, and his family really encouraged him to play through it and really encouraged him not to redshirt. And if you look what was best for Colin Bevins, it probably would have been best for him to redshirt. And he chose not to do that. And so that's what makes it special to me and Rich and our coaching staff. And I've told him that numerous times, and I'll tell him again.
Coach, you can kind of sense all year that there was something a little different about this team, whether it was the 7-4 mindset, whether it was, kind of putting yourself in underdog scenarios. What's been special about, can you kind of put into words what makes this national championship different than the other four?
Oh, that's hard to quantify. I think probably the number one thing is just our youth. I think in some of those other championship years, I don't think we quite has had as much youth. And probably I'd have to go back and look, but maybe not as many seniors. But that's probably the one thing, again, because you look there in January and you're looking at freshmen, sophomore, guys like that. And again, that's a tribute to guys like Bain and Grove and people like that. It's hard for young guys to play in the MIAA at that high of a level that they played at. And so that was probably what made it fun for me, because in all the years I've been with Northwest, we've had some guys that have done that, but I don't know if we've had that many do it in 1 year.
How impressed have you been with Brady this year? Not just his leadership, but also the way he stepped up, the way he's thrown the football and things like that. I know he doesn't like to talk about his brother's statistics
Sure.
and stuff like that, but he passed a pretty big one today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Total offense, just what is his legacy in this program?
Well, I think there's a lot. Let me start with the statistics. I didn't even realize that until I think Marshall or SID had said something to me like Tuesday. I kind of looked at him like, that's the last thing I'm worried about right now. But then it kind of sunk in a little bit as the game was going. I think it's hard to play quarterback at Northwest Missouri State. Anybody that's played quarterback there, will tell you that. And they're scrutinized consistently from our folks. But I'm proud of him because he's hung in there. He's took some of that scrutiny. He's gotten better as a player. He's pushed himself to be the best he can be. To me, where he separated himself this year is in two things. He went from being a good leader to a great leader, and his knowledge of our offense, understanding protections and understanding defenses, and that's a tribute to him and Coach Floor working together, I think was what really raised the bar for him and obviously made us play really well. But his legacy is, I think, this is just my opinion, you'd have to ask Coach T too. I think he goes down as one of the greatest players in Northwest history. That's what I believe.
Coach, what's the next step for the Northwest football program?
Honestly, we're going to celebrate tonight and have fun and spend time with our families. We'll go back to Maryville. I'm going to sleep tomorrow. I'm going to get up and eat. I'm going to sleep some more.
What about the off season?
I'm getting there. We're going to go to Star Wars tomorrow, a lot of us. And then we start back in the office Monday with recruiting. So our kids will be gone. I'm not sure the exact date we get back, January 12th, 13th, like that. And then don't tell them this tonight, but I'm sure Joe Quinlan will have a nice little surprise waiting for him Monday morning. Be a nice little buzzsaw getting them going back from Christmas break. But that's what this business is. It's a grind, and we'll jump right back in there. And I think we did some great things tonight. It would help us with recruiting, and being on national television never hurts. But we're just right back in there Monday.
Couple more.
Coach, what was it like to be the first MIAA team to play here in the national title game?
It was phenomenal.
Was it the crowd, what you expected, or was it more than you expected?
I'm being honest. I feel like I'm in a dream right now. I had to pinch myself walking out of that tunnel, and it was, I was trying to be really calm, but it was unbelievable. And I said it last week, man, when I found out they were moving that game here, I felt a little pressure because I knew our people were going to want to get here. And I remember going to a Sporting KC game this spring, early spring soccer game. It was the first time I'd ever been to this venue in an event. And I just sat there, and I remember trying not to think about it too much, but I was like, man, this would be unbelievable to someday get here. So it was everything I expected it to be. The NCAA and the Sporting, Kansas City Sporting Commission and all the folks that put this thing together. And I would have said this if we win or lose. I told Dr. Bo Richter before the game, it has been a great experience for our kids. What I liked is we got activity in the community. We got a chance to see Kansas City a little bit, but our kids had a time to spend together, and that's important at a championship event because we have 6 kids or 7 kids graduating here in a little bit, and then they're gone. We're not going to get a chance to see them till spring. So it was everything I dreamed it could be.
One last.
Coach, how do you sell Division II football to recruits, to fans? How do you sell it?
Well, I think the number one thing is you sell 20,000 people or whatever it was at a championship football game. I think that's number one. I'll sell our graduation rate. It's around 80%. I'll sell our team GPA. It's right around a 3.0. Division II football is about what college athletics should be. It's about student athlete. And I'm proud of not just us. There's other teams in our league, a lot of other teams in Division II that still do it the right way. And, my opinion, some of those bigger guys are getting away from that. That's how I sell it. It's still a complete experience. It's community, academics, and competing at the highest level. The flip side of that is you look at the number of guys that Northwest Missouri State has put in the NFL recently, and the MIAA and Division II football is putting in the NFL. I think there's a lot of great kids playing here today. There's kids on both sides out there today that are going to get a chance to play in the NFL. I believe that. So that's how I'd probably sum it up quickly.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. That'll conclude it. Congratulations on your record time 5th national championship.
Thank you.
Northwest.
Thank you.